Let's get started. So as I mentioned earlier, today's a little bit different. Normally on these Q&As, we will go through some type of feature highlight. But today, because so much has been happening with Keeper, new updates and people getting on board with new closes and all of that, we wanted to pause on all of the new feature things and just give you guys an opportunity to ask questions. They can be general, and I'll just show you things in Keeper, or they can be very specific to your firm and something that you are trying to troubleshoot. So the floor is open. And for those of you who haven't met me, I'm Jody. My face is
Hi,
kind of out
Jody.
there. And Erica is out of town today, so she will not be joining us.
I've met the Erica part.
She's the other half. Yes, she's my other
I
half. So what questions do we have today?
don't really
Yes.
have any
Okay.
questions. I'm sorry. I
No,
don't
go
really
ahead,
have any
Sharon.
questions because I'm still learning. I've got a lot in Keeper, but just trying to, I guess, try to build my task and my checklist because I'm still new to bookkeeping since January.
Excellent.
So this has been really good for me, but I don't know all the things that it can do.
Well, it
So
does take a long time to learn all of them, Sharon. So don't feel
I'm
pressured
doing
that you
pretty
have to
good
know
on
how
learning
all of
them though.
it. You don't have to know it
So
all at once right away.
I know. So the one thing I'm looking at when people are talking when you're talking about because I'm looking at creating my SOP.
Mhm.
So am I looking at doing that under task, burn task? Where am I
It
looking at
so
creating that?
it's gonna depend on what you're creating. So if it is let me open up my share my screen here. And then let me make sure that I can still see everybody. Bear with me a moment.
Oh, I like your status thing. I don't know how to do a status thing.
Yes, we can
My
go into
gosh.
that as well.
Wow. Okay.
I just need to make sure I can see the waiting room. Let's see. There we go. All right. So SOPs, it's going to depend on what it is. If it's a general, like firm wide, not client specific, more of like your admin things, yes, you may want to put that into firm tasks. But if it has to do with how you are actually going to complete a task, you'd want to put that in underneath the task itself.
Okay. So when
Um,
I do the test, and I apologize for interrupting, I want to make sure I clarify it.
yeah,
So when I put a task under here, it can be for all of my clients across the board, same task. I just copy them from each one. Is that what you're?
well, if you're going to be using it across multiple clients, I highly recommend utilizing the templates. This makes it a
Okay.
whole lot easier to apply to new people. It's going to save you from doing a lot
Oh,
of copy and pasting.
oh my
Uh,
gosh,
so,
yes.
so for examples, like your payroll, run payroll. I've got 9 steps under this. And so you've got like this is your main task name or a parent task, and then you can have subtasks or checklists with the how to underneath them.
Oh my gosh. That is where I'm looking to get started at. So I didn't know where to
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Templates are a great place.
Okay, that's perfect because that's what I was looking for was something as to where to start. Because people say, "Are you using Keeper?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I don't know what I'm using it for with that situation.
Yeah.
I didn't know how
Yeah.
to get started."
Well, so let
Perfect.
me let me tell you a little bit more about the templates. This is the project templates.
Uh-huh.
This only goes into your non-closing task section. That's the only place you can put it right now. With
Okay.
this, though, you can also include non-transaction questions. So, for example, with our onboarding template that we have a bunch of onboarding questions for the client that once we apply this template to the client, all of these questions automatically go into their client portal. So
Oh my gosh.
as we're starting our relationship with that client, we can introduce them to the client portal, and they already have a set of questions in there to get them going and to get us started with the materials that we need for them.
Okay, that's great.
Under closes, this is where you're going to be able to build out the rest of Keeper. You still have your non-closing tasks at the top, but you can also have custom sections, and all of the Keeper provided sections like transaction review, account reconciliation, payee entity review, all of those are still in here, financial statements. And you can build out these as well. So you can't change the task name, but you can help your team know what to do, or even remind yourself on what to do
From the
by
template.
putting in a checklist. This is a closed template. Yep. You can add these checklists in at the client level as well. But again, doing it at the template level is going to save you time if it's something that you can use across multiple clients.
Oh my gosh, y'all have really dug deep into this. That's amazing.
Oh yes, we love Keeper very much so.
Are all of those closed templates there where you have the template? Are they on Keeper now, or do you have to add them in? Or I have
You
to
have to add them.
You have to add them.
Yep, you have to add them. The only one that Keeper comes with is, oh, I don't have it on my demo account. They have one in there that's your like new client onboarding.
Yeah.
That's under projects, but that's the only default one that comes with it. These are all ones that we have built out.
Okay. So that's under templates.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if I wanted to add, like, I'm looking at my Keeper, and I've not done anything with this. So the ones that they have are monthly bookkeeping, template one-time template.
Okay.
So
I haven't seen that one yet.
Under your closes?
So you can always add new here at the bottom.
Okay. So when you add new, are they added to the list of where do they go?
So when you add a new template, all you have to do is give it a name.
Okay. So call it new template.
Sure.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so if I call it new template, it is, oh, I already did it. Training example right down here at the bottom.
Right.
This is going to be in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Same with the projects. And then when you click on new, all of this is blank and ready to go. All you have to do is click on the task name and choose add checklist. Or if you are in a section that doesn't have any tasks yet, you can add a task here. And then same thing, you have checklist and checklists and templates underneath it.
So my training example is going to list all of the closing tasks. Let me try it. I mean, add new. I'm doing it on my Keeper.
Yeah.
New template. New.
And you'll add anything that you want to be done on a regular basis. Keep in mind with your non-closing task section, you can choose how often that repeats. If you do not put in a recurring date here or a recurring time frame here, it will be a one and done task. It will not repeat unless you put in your frequency, including monthly. Every other template or every other section, all of the rest of them are considered closed sections, and they will repeat every single month. So non-closing task section only repeats based on what you tell it to do.
Right.
Every other section, including custom sections like this one, will repeat every month. So when you click for the next close or a new close, all of these will reset as not complete. You go through them, complete them each month, and then, you know, you get that lovely green line saying you're done. And then you start the next close, everything resets.
Okay, I'm just still not clear on the training template example. So when you click on that right now, click on that. There's
it's blank.
There's nothing there.
Right. It's a
But I'm
blank
seeing all
slate.
this, I'm seeing this big long list.
This?
Well, I'm seeing non-closing tasks, I'm seeing this.
So
So,
this is what's in your clients. So when you go in, these are the sections that are, this
Right.
will reflect whatever sections you have built out on your client list or in your client. And then like these tasks automatically come with it because they're
Yeah.
defaults for
Okay.
Keeper.
Okay.
And then you get to build out additional tasks. Like I said, you can build out checklists underneath them as well.
Can you add, okay, this training example, does that show up? Where does that, I don't.
Okay, so are you talking about like when you're ready to apply it to a client?
Yeah. So now so now we have this template. So now we add it to a client.
So once you have it built out the way that you want it and you want to add it to a client, you just simply click this button. You have the option to add it to every client at once,
Okay.
or you can pick and choose which ones receive it.
And where does it show up in which section of the client does it show up?
In all of them. So for example,
I mean, is it a non-closing task, client specific task, account?
It depends on where you put the task. So like here, I'm going to show you it at the client level. So here's my non-closing tasks. I've got these in here. I have all of these checklists built in. If I go into this client, I've already applied that template to this client. And you can see here are my non-closing task sections from the template. You can see the checklist that I put in from the template. It gets dropped into all of them. Even these here, you can still see you've got all of the things that I've built out in the template drop in based on where I have them in the template. So this is the client level.
All right. So if you go back to the template thing and you go to the template. All right. So if you go down to account reconciliation, for example, can you add steps underneath that?
Yes. Yes, you can. So on this one, I have the steps built out. Reconciliation in QuickBooks, and then some things that they're going to check here within Keeper. All of that is built out. Now, because this is a reconciliation section, this one is a little bit unique. It's still the dates are still going to repeat monthly. But because the template doesn't know how many accounts you need to reconcile, it puts this one space here for you to write out your checklist, and then it will apply it to every account you have listed under account reconciliation. So I can show you that here under this sample client. Here's my account reconciliation section, and here are the 4 accounts that we have to reconcile. Well, underneath each of them, you will see my checklists.
So, and those checklists are exactly the same on each account?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And if you want to make a change or do something special for an account, for example, if I'm doing cash on hand and I don't need to do some of these steps, you can change that here at the client level.
Okay. So you can build exactly how to do a reconciliation under the template, which will then show up. Do I have to apply to the client, or does it show up automatically because it's in?
Nope, you have to apply it.
Does it overwrite the account reconciliation, or is it?
So again, this one is a bit unique. There are some finicky things about the templates right now. I know that they're working to improve that. But for account reconciliation, if you're doing a big change to it, for this one specific section, you have to delete your checklist, then go to templates and reapply them. It will not overwrite if you already have something in here.
Will it add a second? Will it? Okay. So
it has to be blank. These have to be blank in order to receive checklists or updates to the checklist.
Okay. But if I build out these steps on account reconciliation and I apply it to the client and pretend these are all blank, it will put the directions under each.
Yes.
Automatic. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the beauty of templates.
What all it could do.
Yeah. That truly is the beauty of the templates, because it saves you a lot of time of copying and pasting or manually writing out things over and over again, especially for those items that are very common across various clients. And you can create lots of different templates too if you need to. Okay, somebody asked if I could show how we use firm tasks. So the firm
was
task
me.
section is, yes, you did too, Deborah. I'm going to collapse this just so it's not overwhelming. You can have this broken out in any way that you want. All of these sections are custom sections. So when you first go into firm tasks, it's going to be completely blank. You just click on new section, give it whatever name you want. These will operate similar to, let me see here. They're going to operate similarly, I can't say that word today. just like your non-closing task section. So when I say that, it means that it's going to have the exact same tags available, and you can set the frequency in which it repeats. If you don't set a repeat, then it will be a one and done task.
Okay.
It also, like the non-closing task section, has the 3 tabs: due soon, due later, and completed.
Now, where do you see them to get done? I mean,
they are on your task list. So if you come in here to your tasks, so if you're starting off the day, what do I need to do today? I've got client tasks and I have firm tasks I need to do. They're going to be on this list. So you can either go to the firm task to see what you want to do, or you can just come to your tasks list and you're going to see everything. Firm tasks and client tasks.
Okay.
And those firm tasks, you can create any section you want. Some team members will have one section per team member. Some will have, trainings they want to do or updates they want to do. You can break it out as much as you want. The one thing to keep in mind is that firm task section, every person on your team is going to be able to see it. It's not, they don't have a privacy
fire the new
function.
employee, they'll see that.
Yes. If you have that on your to-do list, yes, they will see it if they're in the firm tasks.
Could you go over to, like, I know in your client template thing, you have this status thing. Like, could you go over all the statuses you have for each of your clients? Because I saw that last month and it was like, holy smokes.
So if you come up here to settings and you come to tasks, here at the bottom, you're going to be able to select your closed status options. So here you can add new ones. You can update the ones that were already in here. You can have people notified when that status is applied to a client. You can even put in reasons. So if somebody were to change one of the clients to stuck, they would have to choose a reason from a drop down of why that is stuck. And then you can also edit the color here.
Oh, that's cool. How do you do the color? Because can you do that with tags too? Edit the color?
Yes. Non-closing tags are in the same space here on your tasks tab. And yes, you can edit the color.
Where do you do that?
Right here on the page. Yeah, I'm playing with it now.
Okay, how do you? Because how do you edit the color?
No, it's not showing me the actual items. I guess it's going to give you default, isn't it?
Yeah,
when you have a limited number, you have the option to go back and forth, but it looks like right now that's not a feature, and I'm going to make a note so that we can request that.
Now, is there a way to get them in it seems like it always adds it to the bottom of the list, where some of them, so there's no way to change the order of the list. Is there?
No, not that I know of.
That would be nice.
So that could be another request that we can find in Canny.
Okay, but I know in the client setup, it's like there's choices, 1120, what kind of pay, and you have a whole bunch of listed things.
So those are custom properties.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I was looking for. What properties do you use?
It's all client settings. I have a lot of options in here just because this is our demo account.
Right.
And this is what we use when people ask us questions and we show them all sorts of different ways
Sure.
to use them. So we've got things in here specifically for payroll, like the type of payroll it is, the software they use. You can have priorities. This is a big old sandbox. You can make just about anything as part of a property.
And I noticed you have like last appointment. How do you use that?
The client appointment, these?
Yeah, like
This
I know
is
like
just
with
a date
payroll,
section.
like we have
Mhm.
payroll and it's like some are weekly, some are every other week. And I want to know like what, like what's the next date?
Yes. So if I get my payroll. So we have a column in here, a property called Next Run Payroll. So we know that that we should have done it on June 9th. And
Right.
after that, we need to update it to the next.
Oh, so
time
you have to
it's
go in
due.
and manually change that.
Yes.
Okay. Is that a client setting that we just went over?
Yep. It's property. It's a
Okay,
custom
properties.
property. Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna pop over to Ellen. Ellen, what was your question here?
Okay. So I have a client who is quarterly, but there are tasks that I do for her on a monthly basis, like reconcile her accounts and stuff. And so she's on the quarterly. Keeper knows her as quarterly. So her close tasks don't update every month. They only update every 3 months. And so I had created monthly tasks inside my client specific section before I switched her over to quarterly inside of Keeper. And so now I would like to bulk move those tasks up into the non-closing task section so I can set them to repeat every month. And your face tells me that I'm going to do this manually.
Yes. Right now you have to do it manually.
Okay.
You can move tasks around using this button for the things that are within your close sections, your custom close sections. So you can see there, I only have 3 options. It's not going to allow you to drop them into the Keeper sections right now. Not tasks like this, but no, it does not have the option right now. I know that there's a request out there for it to be able to move it anywhere. But yes, for right now, it does not.
So maybe I wait for them to grant that request, and until then, I just deselect it after I've done it. When it's time to do it next month.
Well, I know you and I have a meeting after this, so we can talk about that more.
Okay, thank you
on your options there. Absolutely. Somebody asked if you could purchase our templates. Yes, we have a variety of services available, including giving you access to templates and helping you to set up your Keeper. We have a course that goes over how to do it as well. So if you are interested in that, feel free to reach out to me or stick around after the Q&A and we can go over it. All right, let's see what other questions we have in here. Okay, so we have a question about from Amanda on how to publish financial reports. So we'll go into our demo client here and go over to reporting.
Right, Bubba.
Once we've done all of our settings, we've picked which ones we want to be part of the package, which ones we don't want to see. And your financial report is ready and you want to publish it. simply come up here to, they have now updated this, so it's a lovely purple button. Before it was a little bit harder to find. So now you just come here to click publish. When you do this, you have different options. You can print it. So like print a PDF, you can send it directly in an email. If you do that, it'll pop up like this, and it'll have the PDF attached to that email. You also can add it to the client portal. So this is when it will show up on that dashboard in the published financial section. You can also come here to manage other published financials. So this one, I've only uploaded May to it, but if I wanted to remove that, I could delete it here. I can also preview whatever reports had previously been updated. I hope that answers your question, Amanda. Did you have any additional questions about that?
No, I think that's all. I haven't been in there lately and I didn't notice they had updated the button. So I think that helps.
Yes. Yeah, it's helped a lot of people because, like I said before, it was a little bit difficult to find. So now it's a lot easier to see. And just to show everybody your settings here, that's where you can change it if you need to. You have that option here to change your basis. You can also choose templates from here. If you want to apply a template to your client, I will show you where those live and where you can build them out. All the templates are going to be under that templates tab. So we've already talked about project templates, close templates for all of your tasks. This is also where your email templates live. If you have the texting feature, you can also do templates here. The questions that you ask within Keeper to your client portal, you can customize those here as well. You can add new ones. You can change these. And then you've got this reporting section. I know that I think Ellen asked if we were going to be coming out with templates for this. I'm not sure of that answer. It's not currently on our list because so many people have custom templates that they need to do for their clients. More than happy to brainstorm with anybody that's trying to create a template and walk you through how to do that. But you just click new and you walk through section by section to set up the various things that you need. This is not as robust as QBO yet. I know that there's requests out there to be able to have a little bit more freedom within the reporting. So I know that's on their roadmap somewhere, but right now it's still a little bit limited in here. So it's not going to be quite as robust as what you have in QBO or in Xero. But you are able to save some things so that you don't have to, apply the same thing every single time you go to publish a report for your client. You can do a simple setup here and just apply that. Okay, what other ones do we have here? Yeah, Teresa, you were asking about any plans for uploading special reports to the client portal. I know that at All Things Reporting, they're working on. I don't know the timeline of when it'll be released, but I do know that it's on the roadmap and there's lots of canny requests out there for them as well. So somebody asked how I customized my cover page. And I believe this might be part of the templates as well. I just played around right here. You can show your own practice logo or show the client. And then you've got a couple of options here of how that shows up. And then you can upload logos here too if you didn't have them uploaded previously. But that's it. Simple as that. Let's see what other questions we have. Deborah asked if I were starting over using Keeper, knowing what I know now, where would I begin? Templates. Templates are definitely where I would start, just because it can save you a whole lot of time. And just what I've learned over the years of using this is the more you use it, the more you learn and the more comfortable you get in it. So not being afraid to just jump in. You don't have to have everything perfect before you begin. I was building this out for another client that I was doing subcontract work for, and we would make changes month after month, but the team wasn't using it yet. It's like we kept trying to get it to a certain place before we got the team involved. And it was like that was a moving finish line. So we decided, like, let's just get everybody in there, and then we can get the team's feedback on anything that needs to change. So if you're nervous about doing something for every client, I highly recommend testing things out with one client. So if you're not sure if the template that you built out is really going to work the way you want it to, then just test it on 1 or 2 clients, see how you feel, make the adjustments you need to make. And then once you feel a little bit more comfortable with it, you can apply it to more clients. That would be the biggest thing, I think. And don't hesitate to ask for help. There are resources out there. You've got us, you've got the Facebook group, and you've got Keeper support.
Which is great, by the way.
Yes, we love them. Feel free to unmute yourself, guys, and ask questions or.
How many
I
years
have
have
a
you been
question.
using it?
Sorry, go ahead. We all jumped in at once.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yep.
I met Ben and Kenny in 2001 at the first BKX, which is where they kind of launched it. So I've kind of been with them since the beginning.
Since 2001?
I'm sorry, 21.
Oh, okay.
Boy,
Ooh,
Deborah,
not
you're
that
paying
long.
attention.
Yes, good job. 2021. There we go.
Wow.
We're like, man, y'all are longtime friends.
No.
I do have a question.
Yes.
In the client emails, and we
Mhm.
have our email templates, like I have to always change from intro to whatever. Is there not a way to?
Oh, you mean when you're at from the client, like the client portal?
Yes.
Okay.
So like I'm working on this one and I want it to always say there's an update to questions or another question or whatever. Is there a way to default that? Like right there? I don't want it to say intro. It's my long time, client.
So yeah, so one thing that you can do is they have kind of what I'd call like a hot button. This one will automatically pull up the new questions email to say, hey,
Right.
we've added new questions. And then this one will always pull up we've responded to your email.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. See, yeah, I knew I'd ask a question you share with me. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So those are
Okay.
those are like the 3 default ones that are going to come up. Otherwise, yeah, you would have to come here and choose a new one.
Okay, nope, I won't even have to go there and choose anymore.
Just right here, we responded.
Oh my gosh, just click of a purple button. Man, or whatever color you change it to.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, wouldn't you be able to, let's say, because I'm assuming that those questions, email questions are alphabetical. Why not just turn them into, 1, 2, 3, 4, or A, B, C, D, and then have your most important one, the one that you hit most often, as being A or 1? That's my way to skin the cat, so to speak.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to test out. For sure.
I don't think you can change the name of email templates.
Custom ones you can. You're right. Custom ones you can, but the ones that come with Keeper, you cannot. That's a good point, Ellen. No, see, some of them you're not going to be able to. Some of them you will. So you can
Well, we
poke
can
around
do
in
it
here
like
to see.
my phone. I actually have my husband is A Mark. My mom is A Mom.
Right.
So that way I can just put just that one, A whatever, or B whatever, right there.
So some of them you can update, some of them you cannot, as far as the titles.
I think your buttons help me tremendously, and just a little
Good.
purple one.
Good. Teresa, what's your question about communications with chats?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around how the chat figures my phone would beep as soon as I start talking. Sorry.
Okay.
How the chats work in talking to your team throughout time, meaning, okay, you want to say something, let's say about Fargon Salon. You want that to show up all the time. This client is a royal PIA, okay? Something like that. Or
Yes.
hey, they're getting ready to transition from, QuickBooks to Xero or whatever. But then, so you kind of want that to show. And then what about when you want to just have a chat about, let's say, particular reconciliation that isn't working well?
Mm-hmm.
How do these chats carry over or don't carry over? I am just really not, I don't feel strong on using chats. So
this is an excellent question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I think the best way to go about answering it is kind of highlighting the different places that you can put comments, the different places that you can save information. If you come into your settings and on first tab here, go to your close page. If you turn this on, show client details, then you're always going to have that here at the very top of your screen. You can click on this and you can put in that this client is a pain. And it's always going to show up there at the very top.
Oh, good.
So those key things that you want your team members to know or something like that, that's very important, you can have that up here. You could put in always check this before working this client. And if I save that, then there's a note for my team that I want them to always look at client details before they start working on this client.
So
you can continue to add to this as much as you want. You can have things numbered, you can have things bullet point, you have different heading options as well. So there's a lot that you can build out here in this section, and you can have it visible all the time. So that's one spot. Another spot here, and that's the same exact window. This one, the client details, is also here on your client info. So if you got all your properties, then your details are here. So it's going to be the same thing. So you could come here to build it out too. You also have the option for notes. One of the top examples that I give for notes is, say you have a monthly meeting with the client. You can put in meeting notes right here, and it's going to timestamp it for you. So I'll just say August 15th meeting. Okay.
I will say that I use notes for things like logins. Like if we have logins for different accounts, their donor system or, into their
I've heard
table, I title it in all caps login and then put in the information. Things like just FYIs, I put that in.
Yep.
That's how I use those notes, because those
are great ways to use it too.
Right. Because they're there 24/7, not just for the month.
But right. And you can edit them as well.
Yes.
So you can come back in and change it. And it's going to give you a history of what's changed or who's been in there as well. Okay. So if you have multiple team members working in here and people update things, you can always see, who's worked on that note. So yeah, there's a variety of ways that you can use this note section. So you've got those options. And then of course you have your chats.
Yeah.
So there's a chat at the task level.
Yeah. Okay.
Chat at the task level, and then a chat at the client level here. So this one's not attached to any task in particular. It's just attached to the client itself. Chats that are attached to a task will remain with that task. If it's a recurring task, like here on the non-closing task section, when that's complete, that version or that iteration of the repeat, the comments will go with it. So the comments will not stay here and repeat over and over again as these recur. Same thing with anything on your close section tasks down here.
Okay.
When it resets each month, comments reset as well. At least from
Okay.
what I've seen.
Okay. Got it. So the one up at the very top where you see that chat, that stays, not the client details, but bingo, that team chat. That
and you'll
stays.
see, yes. And you'll see
Okay.
that you have options here. Now within this, you can see the task chats as well. So this is kind of like a collect all, but you can have, once you're done working on something, you can archive it. And so that way you can choose to click this button and you'll only see the things that are open. This one will show you the full history. And this one will only show you what's currently open or outstanding. I don't know if I have any comments on in the demo. Here's some. So here's comments here. This is all of them. I don't currently have anything open for them. If it's part of a task, you'll see that task name and the date and all of that below it. And you can click to reply to it. If it is just on the client, then it'll show up like this one here.
When you say it's just on the client, it's just in that, I'll say, team chat. Yes. Versus when it's in the box like that, it's related to a
part of a task.
Okay.
Yep. And it'll show you the tab. It'll say task and then the client name here as well, because if you are getting something from your inbox here, this one's a little sticky. This is another section where it's not as robust as everybody wants quite yet, and they're continuing to update it. So when you have this is your inbox, when new things come in, it'll highlight up here with a little red dot and the number of comments that you have. But it's not always easy to find those comments within your clients. It'll, like I said, it'll show you which client it is, and it should have the title here of what task it is. But then once you go to the close, sometimes you have to kind of hunt for it.
Okay.
But again, they're aware of that. It's on their roadmap. And you also can have that chat, the team chat here in your client list as well. So you don't always have to go inside the client to be able to do comments.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that was driving me nuts.
Yeah,
because sometimes, you've got people will either use Slack or they'll use Teams or Google or whatever. And if I can keep it in Keeper, so I don't have to have another program running, that's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, it's on their map to build that out more. So I am optimistic about what will come with it. So we just have to be patient. But until then, we've got those options.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let me check over here. We got about
Jody, I missed it. How did you get that client details to show up on the client page?
So you're going to come up here to your settings. It's going to be under your practice and statements. And all the way over here under close page, it's a button that you can toggle on or off.
Oh,
or an option you can toggle on or off.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's super helpful.
My suggestion to that, though, is if you're going to use that client details, because it doesn't open up 100% of what's in that detail page, it only gives you like the first 3 or 4 lines. I would say put your most current conversation or whatever you want to say at the top, and as opposed to the bottom. So
you could also have like a last updated at the top. You could say last updated and put a date there too, so people know when things have been added. But okay. Ellen had another great question about templates for firm tasks, and unfortunately we cannot do templates yet for firm tasks. I'm sorry, Ellen. There's a request is out there to make that more robust as well. They're just focused on some other higher priority features right now that need to be built out first. But firm tasks, it'll come at some point. But until then, like if you're doing a team training thing, you can copy and paste, or we could brainstorm ways of making that a little bit easier, but guess it would depend on how many team members you're training at one time. Because if you're training one team member at a time, then you could have a training section within firm tasks. And then you can assign all of the tasks to that one team member. Once it's complete, you can take them off of it and reset dates, and then assign it to your next team member. You could even rename the section. So like once they complete it, it moves to that completed tab, but it doesn't go away. So you can take them off or change it to your next person and add a new date, and it'll bump over there to do soon. So that'd be one little workaround. If you get into a place where you're working on multiple people, you might have to just copy and paste for now to duplicate that. These are awesome questions, guys. This has been a very active Q&A.
What if you made like a dummy client called like training, and then
yeah, that's an excellent option as well.
Template.
Yeah, and then you could have a project template and you could apply it whenever you need to. That is another really good workaround.
Yeah, but wouldn't the issue, the fact that you don't have it connected to QuickBooks, you don't have access to those closing lines?
Okay, so let's do an example. So it's going to be an unconnected option here. We're just going to go ahead and give all users. We don't have a template yet, so we're just going to do none. So we're going to add client, and this is going to be our team training client. So once that's added, you're right, some of these things are not going to be available. So financial statements, nothing. Some of these, the custom sections will be available. So anything in a custom section you can add. But my guess would be that you would just house all of your training within a non-closing task section, so that when you are in your templates, you would build out a project template for training, new team member onboarding. And you can, or have a separate training one in here. And then you can apply this each time you have a new team member. And with this, you can apply it multiple times. So if you have, let's see, I only have those. Let me just go ahead and add this to the client. Team training. So let's say I have 2 people going through it at the same time. Because this is a project template, I can add it twice, and it should give me double on here. Yep. So I can come in here and assign this to Jane, assign this one to Sam, and so on and so forth. So I've got them both in here, and they each have tasks they have to do. So that is another way to work around the training, if that's helpful. I think what part of what you were talking about, Teresa, was training them on how to use all of these other sections. Was that part of it?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where I would think that maybe in here you've got maybe some Loom videos that give them an overview of how things work in here. And then it's either going to be they shadow another team member, or they have one client that they're working on as they're processing through how to manage it. It's kind of like learn on the job.
Loom, good idea. I love Loom.
Oh, video recordings, big fan of those.
Yeah.
speaking of recordings, if you're not sure where to start, especially with these templates, if you're like, I don't even know, everything's in my head, I have no idea how to get this out of my head and into a template, I highly recommend just hitting record, whether that's in Loom or on Zoom. You can record yourself on Zoom as well. There's a lot of different applications out there to do recordings, and just do it the next time you do that task. So you don't have to like schedule special time to walk through how you do payroll. Just the next time you do payroll, find a way to hit record, kind of talk yourself through it. But the benefit of recording while you do that is also that you see where you click. ScribeHow is another really great resource because it actually captures every mouse click. And then so if you were to do both a Loom or Zoom recording and you have ScribeHow both going, then you have a video recorded and a document that shows every step that you did. So it's not perfect and it's not polished, but it's a fantastic starting point for how to break down the tasks that you're doing without taking away more time from a busy day, because you're just recording it while you're doing it the next time. We've got just a few minutes left. I'm happy to stick around longer and past 3.
Can I follow up on what you just said, Jody?
Absolutely.
So I know I've heard that multiple times. I've never done it before. So which do you turn on first? Do you turn on like Loom first and then turn on ScribeHow?
Yeah, that's probably how I would do it.
Okay.
Because you can probably edit both of them, but right. Loom, it's easy to just,
delete the first part.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure with ScribeHow, you can delete part of it as well, I would imagine. I haven't personally played around with it much. I know Erica has played around with it quite a bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I personally probably would start Loom and then start ScribeHow.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm here to answer any more questions. If you guys don't have any additional questions, you're welcome to have the rest of your day. But again, thank you so much for coming.
You were
Quick question for you, Jody.
I'm sorry. You were going to mention about how to purchase templates from you.
Yes. Let's see, what's the best way to do that? You can just email us at info@hughesandstrong.com.
Okay.
We like to do I'm going to put the email in the chat here.
Oh, I got
We like to do like a one-on-one little meet and greet to see what your full needs are. So we don't have like a website. Yeah.
I have with Erica, so I'll just actually can follow up and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Good deal. Good deal. Well, thank
Kelsey,
you so much, Jody.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I love doing this. Okay, Kelsey, I see you.
We love you doing this.
Thanks. All right, Kelsey, I'm reading your question now. Let's see. Client who wants to be able to see past communications regarding questions they've asked them. Once they're marked resolved, they no longer show up in their portal. I know that there's a canny request out for this.
I put in a second canny request yesterday about it because
okay, good.
Yes, because and somebody had put in like, maybe 17 votes or whatever, but I have literally like 40 different transaction and non-transaction questions I've asked this client. And so every time I mark them resolved, they're gone. And now he's like, he can't remember what he sent me. And so sometimes like when I've asked him like, hey, please upload the bill from United Healthcare for last month. And he can't remember if he sent them to me or not. And so he attaches it to that question. I say, great, thanks, mark it resolved, it's gone. And then he can't remember what he sent me. He can't see the files and he can't see the questions that are resolved.
Okay, I'm pulling up the client portal. So give me just a moment. I want to see if I've
Kelsey, I would say if the client doesn't see it in the portal as a question, he doesn't have to worry about it. is done
Well,
unless you
for
ask
his
for
own,
it.
I think for his own purposes, like he can't remember maybe what he's sent me already and he doesn't want to continue to send me the same like statements again, or maybe he wants to go back and like use that as a system for keeping some of his stuff straight. Like, I don't know, maybe he just wants to see what he sent me already.
Well, for example, like if he has to send you bank statements because you can't get the feed through QuickBooks.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
always say, I have it recur like on the 5th day of the month. And I says, I need your, Bank of America account ending in 1234. It usually
Yeah.
drops on the 31st. And then so I say, I kind of try to be as specific as I can so he understands, okay, it's the one that just arrived. That's the one I got to give him. And I also time those questions when the statement drops. So like credit cards don't always drop on the 31st, they'll drop on the 20th. So on the 22nd, I sent him an email, recurring task. Hey, your statement should have just dropped for, such and such credit card. Can you send it to me? And then they do. But once that question is resolved, if I were him, I'd say, let it go, dude, move on. That's just me.
Well, if you look on the client portal, and I know Jody was just saying she's going to pull it up, but if you look under where it says like non-transactions questions, it shows unanswered and then there's answered and then all. If you look under where it says answered, they're gone. If I've marked them resolved, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's too complicated for me to leave all of those unresolved because I'm afraid I'll miss something.
Yeah.
It's like having a clear inbox in my email.
Yes, absolutely. If it's something where they've dropped it here in this, basically just this inbox, then they can see it here.
Yes.
If you've attached it to a task, then it would be here and they could see it.
Okay.
I feel like they just released something. I'm gonna have to go back and look for it. That talked a little bit more about like organizing, how to organize files.
Yeah.
Or it's something that's going to be coming out soon. Like I said, I'll have to go back and see if I can find it.
Okay.
But like I said, this one's underneath account reconciliation. We moved it to there. So they can still see that, even though we moved it there. But you're right. Like right now, if it's answered, it's here. But once it's resolved, it's gone.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know that there's requests out there for it.
Okay. I just wish it would still show up and answered.
Yeah.
To me, that would make sense because I can still see it on my side, but the client
or have a resolved section for them.
Yeah.
So like resolved means that they don't have to worry about it anymore, but they can see it.
So you're saying if they in their portal drag and drop and use that drag and drop area for the files, they can see what they've submitted. But if they attach it to the question that you're asking, they can't. So you might want to work something out with this particular client. Say, hey, do a drag and drop over there, and then you can see it. Otherwise, you won't. Just retrain him to use that drag and drop section.
Right.
Yeah. And if you're doing if you're asking for statements like this, you can direct them back to the dashboard and you can put in a client portal announcement. You can have that as part of it that says, hey, put your statements here.
Right.
So you can definitely utilize that as well. Or even your resources tab to give them more instruction on how to do things, and then just keep referencing back to it wherever you put the instructions. Just continuously reference back to it for them.
Okay.
The issue that I have with that drag and drop file area is I don't get a notice that he put something there. So when I'm going to my non-transaction questions, hey, can you upload a statement? I don't see it, but it's in that client uploads inbox. I wish there was a mechanism for Keeper to send me an email or, give me a symbol somewhere saying, hey, there's a new file in your inbox.
Do you have your, let's see.
Thank
Do you
y'all.
have your
Have a good
client
day.
questions on? Thank you.
I'll send you an email, Jody.
Okay. Looking forward to it, Sharon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
So here under client questions, so this is your user settings. You click on your initials up there or your picture and come in here to client questions. This is going to send you a notification anytime they answer. You can also have it do it instant. So if it's here and you don't have this checked off, then it's just going to be once a day. It'll send you. But if you have enable instant notifications on, then as soon as they answer something, you're going to get an email. Do you have those turned on?
Okay, so that's under settings, the gear icon in the main
No,
page.
it's your initials here, your user settings.
Okay, hold on. Client questions. Yeah,
Do
I've
you
got all
have-
of my, I have, you will receive a notification when these clients answer questions. So
Okay.
yeah, I do get an email. But
Right.
email, it's a black hole.
Yeah.
Because I've got
'Cause-
Keeper open 24/7. My email sits in the background. So
Yeah.
okay.
'Cause I
Okay.
feel like they're I
It's
want
a
to say that
canny
I've seen
request.
I want to say I've seen an email come through before, like when I was testing this out, that said, hey, you've got new files, but I could be mistaken. But that's a great idea because you would want, like, I don't know, a little red dot on here that says, four
Yeah.
new files.
Yeah.
Making a note.
Yeah, because I'll ask a client, hey, you haven't sent it to me. He goes, yeah, I did. I was like, damn it. I look like an idiot because it's like, oh, it's in the inbox. It's in the uploads inbox. Okay. So I have to put under client details. Hey, Teresa, don't
Check
be
file
stupid.
count.
Check that inbox first.
Well, and you know what you could do is you can always clear out your inbox. So if you've dealt with this and you don't need them in the inbox anymore, then you can move them to a different place. And then anytime you see a number in there, you know it's new.
Okay, good idea. Good idea.
You'll just need to play around with how you want to move them or where you want to move them.
Yeah.
You could even have if you don't find some place that you like, you can always create like a dummy task that just says processed files from client inbox or something like that. And you can just move them all there as you process them. So that's one workaround anyways, until notifications become more clear for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate your brain.
I love this. I really do. I love problem solving and all things Keeper and systems, and yes, always happy to help.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, friends. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Jody. These are
Appreciate
so
it.
helpful.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time. Of course, if you guys need anything in between now and next month's Q&A, send us an email. We're happy to help. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.